I am a cloned sheep named Dolly. I came into this world with the mission of allowing humans to live forever. But my life was plagued by illness. I was born July 5th, 1996, in a very special way. Unlike most of you, I don't have a dad. I was created by extracting DNA from one sheep and an egg from another, combining them, and then placing the resulting embryo into another mother sheep's womb. Scientists referred to me as 278 because they had experimented 277 times before achieving success with me. Despite the excitement surrounding my birth, my life was marked by suffering. In order to test my ability to reproduce, I was forced to give birth to 6 lambs. Subsequently, my health deteriorated rapidly. While regular sheep can live for over 12 years, I struggled to walk by the age of 5. My forelegs felt like dragging 4 stone pillars. I endured this pain until the age of 6, facing various age-related ailments. The situation worsened as I was diagnosed with lung cancer, causing me tremendous respiratory distress. In agony, I gazed into the distance during the deep night, questioning why humans brought me into this world. Perhaps it was destiny. Observing me on the brink of death, scientists couldn't bear to see me suffer and decided to euthanize me. Following my demise, scientists turned me into a specimen for laboratory study, concluding my brief yet painful existence. Hello, everyone.
Tom's beloved canine companion died in 2014. Instead of letting go, he decided to have her cloned. Tom, how would you describe the connection you had with Daisy?
It's hard to describe because you're all coming back, you know. I've noticed with other dog lovers, some people love their dogs. You have to love your dog to have a dog. But there's certain dogs that you have that they have to be special dogs, and they're a bit more intelligent than the average dog, and it's just something.
And so Tom turned to a lab in Korea that cloned Daisy's DNA and created Mabel and Myrtle. How much did it cost you?
Well, it started off, it was going to be about £66,000. But the currency, we had Brexit, and the currency went crazy, so it ended up being about 75.
Ouch, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So after your dog passes away, you can go through the traditional burial, or you can go through cremation, or you can go through see a taxidermist and get your dog stuffed. The other new alternative that we provide is cloning.
When Daisy...
She's one of the cloned babies born last year.
Do you think she knows she's a clone?
I don't know. Maybe.
Never asked her.
I never tried to. Hi. How are you doing today?
Baby camels.
These two are the same.
Identical.
They are identical. They are copies of the same animal. They always will sit down together. They will play together.
Thank you. Now what happens in here?
What we call it? I know now where the DNA is. I went exactly the same place to remove this DNA.
Oh my goodness, you can see the DNA.
So
being
see,
sucked up.
sucked out. Done.
That's it. That is the DNA from the.
That's the DNA gone from this oocyte. So this oocyte is now only an empty shell.
Ready
For the other DNA, which I'm going to inject it from the cell. And inject this DNA into this one.
And that's that.
That's
so the
it.
DNA is in that little cell.
Yes, the DNA of the cell.
And that egg, you've just switched the DNA of that egg.
Exactly. There are millions and millions of cells in each box, different cells from different animals.
Now the technologies. Should we
Other animals which are the same species working as surrogate mothers, we can produce the babies.
That's incredible. This can put an end to extinction. Right, you better put the lid back on. Don't want it getting warm.
On to our next story now, a groundbreaking advancement from the world of science. Scientists say they have created synthetic human embryos. They say they bypass the need to use sperm and eggs and use stem cells to create the embryos. The synthetic embryos are similar to those in the earlier stage of human development. Now, scientists say these could provide a crucial window into the impact of genetic disorders and biological causes of recurrent miscarriage. The aim for this research is to understand what scientists refer to as the black box period of development. It is called so because scientists can cultivate embryos in labs up to a legal limit of 14 days. After this, they have to pick later on by looking at pregnancy scans and embryos donated for research. The work was reportedly described in a plenary address at the International Society for Stem Cell Research's annual meeting in Boston. However, the full details of the latest work from the Cambridge Caltech lab are yet to be published in a journal paper. Now, Robin Lovelow-Badge, the head of the Stem Cell Biology and Developmental Genetics at the Francis Crick Institute in London, says, and I quote, "If you really model normal human embryonic development using stem cells, you can gain an awful lot of information about how we begin development, what can go wrong without having to use early embryos for research," unquote. Now, earlier, a team at the Weizmann Institute in Israel showed the stem cells from mice could be encouraged to self-assemble into early embryo-like structures. However, when they were implanted into the wombs of female mice, they did not develop into live animals. This raises the key question, whether the synthetic cells of the stem-based embryos, in theory, have the potential to grow into a living creature. On to our next story now.
All right, Shalom, Shalom. First off, give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Give the honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. This is the brother Kratazah from the GMS Nebraska camp, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yashai. This lesson being entitled "E the Mad Scientist, Cloning." All right, and we just watched these 4 videos, about E cloning sheep,
Tom's beloved
cloning a dog, and cloning camels. So, I want to start off with the sheep because this was back in '96. All right, so I remember I was like maybe 10, 11 years old when I started hearing about them cloning a sheep. But I mean, I didn't even really believe it, but it was definitely true, and that was 30 years ago. So how long or how far they came, since then? And then you see how accurate they are now. 25, 30 years later, they'll give you an exact copy of your dog. Just drop that 60, 65, 70 bands, and then they'll clone your dog or your prize camel. Whoever they want you to clone. But I do want to start off by saying, that Esau it all started with Esau. All right, in Esau's God complex, which this is 2 Thessalonians 2:4. It says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worship, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." All right, and this is him trying to play God. We know that the Most High made all the animals. When you go to, Genesis, the first chapter, let me see. Yeah, this is Genesis 1 and 20. It says, and the powers, because the Most High, He gave the go ahead. Yahweh Shai and the angels actually created everything that we see, as far as life, light, the sun, the moon, stars, so on and so forth. All right, but Genesis 1 and 20, it says, and the power said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that have life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. And the powers created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And the powers saw that it was good. And the powers blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters of the sea, let the fowls multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day, right? So even people were created at these times as well. But you have the so-called white man who wants to play God. So he's saying, okay, well, if they can, if the Most High can create life, well, how come I can't create life? So that's what he's doing. He's taking the DNA of a creature and replicating it, like we've seen in the camel video, how the guy had the syringe, and he took the DNA out of one of the embryos and replaced it with the DNA that he wanted in there, right? So they can make a pretty much a copy of it. All right. But let me get this scripture real quick, because bear with me here. I'm gonna bring it in. This is Revelation 18 and 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Right? So we know that this started off with the so-called white man who was cloning these different animals. But now, you have Ammonites, out here in Korea, who are cloning. You got Ishmael in the Middle East, cloning. You have, all nations have drunk with the wine of Esau. So now they're following behind him. It says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of their delicacies. This ain't cheap. They're trying to clone these prize camels, charging people, $55,000 to $100,000 a pop. And he said that they're doing multiple a year. You charge 10 people, $100,000. That's $1 million. All right. That's how the nations are drunk with the wine of the wrath of Esau. Right. This is how they're waxing rich. Right. And this is why they're going to be disappointed, Revelation 18 and 11, it says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buys their merchandise anymore. Right? Because when Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai comes back, all right, we're going to put an end to all this bullshit. All right, no, ain't going to be no cloning in the kingdom. Ain't going to be no cell replication in the kingdom. All right, we're going to the good old-fashioned way, And when your time is up, your time is up. But guess what? The time of the Israelites will never be up, right? We're going to have immortal bodies. I mean, this is what Esau is really trying to do, in my opinion. He wants to live forever, so he's trying to clone to live forever, and he's also trying to clone for this adrenochrome. All right, so we spoke about this on the highways today. This is an article from Forbes.com. It says the adrenochrome conspiracy theory. The adrenochrome conspiracy, a bizarre theory with anti-Semitic roots, police that Satan-worshipping global and Hollywood elites run a massive child ring to drain their blood and harvest the chemical adrenochrome to stay young. and it has been embraced by subscribers of the QAnon and Pizzagate conspiracy movements, including key people affiliated with the recent hit movie Sound of Freedom. All right, so if you can clone, you know, a baby like we seen here in this video, you know, if they can do all of that and just go ahead and make a baby, then they can keep just making these babies, you know, get what they need about them via the embryos or the stem cells or whatever, you know, and they can just keep harvesting it. It's like, you know, going to the grocery store and buying, well, it's like instead of having to go to the grocery store, you just go to your garden. You know, this is pretty much a garden for them. Yeah, like this is a good part. It says if you model human embryonic development using stem cells, you can gain a lot of information about how we begin development. So, you know, what would that be used for? How to sustain life? You know, it says what can go wrong without using early embryos? You know, like what harm is it if we're not using other people's babies? We're creating babies and then we're harvesting these babies. Is it really a baby? You know, this is what Esau the mad scientist does. You know, he this is 1 Timothy 6:20. It says, "O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babbling and oppositions of science falsely so called." And this is a science falsely so called, right? This isn't the true way on replicating life. All right. This is outside the Bible. This is profane. This ain't cool. You know, fucking cloning animals, cloning people. You know, Ecclesiastes 7:29, it says, "Lo, this only have I found, that the Most High have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions." This is one of the many inventions. As a matter of fact, we'll get Second Esdras with it. Second Esdras 9:20, it says, "So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were coming to it." So these are the inventions. These are the devices that are coming to the world that's turning the world upside down. You know, Esau, you know, because your dog died, you know, you get to replicate dogs and make new animals and clone pets, clone, you know, because you got the money for it. Look at this fucker, you know. Who has an extra $77,000 laying around to clone your dog? You know, but they're not in trouble like other men. You know, notice that is you know, well-to-do Edomites who are cloning. It's people in the Middle East, in the UAE, all right, Dubai, who are cloning these camels. You know, it's the oligarchs, the rich people who are doing this. Ain't nobody broke out here cloning, you know, Fido. All right, it's because it's in their hand. All right, and Esau is going to do, you know, wherever he wants because he wants to show that he is God. All right, so that's really all I wanted to get with this video. Lord, Lord, this is edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Merkarkadash. Give dub honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS. Salutes and honors to the elect, all the brothers across the four corners who are enduring in truth and sincerity, all the men and the women who follow. Shalom.